Humanity had finally achieved faster-than-light travel, a breakthrough that propelled Earth into a new era after decades of effort. Humanity's first steps into interstellar exploration had been successful. Their entry into the Galactic Union, a vast alliance of alien civilizations spread across the galaxy, was a moment of pride for Earth. The Union represented the most advanced civilizations known, with centuries or even millennia of experience navigating the complexities of space. However, despite the excitement that surrounded Earth's inclusion, the reality was far less glamorous. The alien races within the Union viewed humanity as little more than a primitive species, not much better than a curiosity. Among the Union's members were species that had been spacefaring for thousands of years. The Trauri, an insectoid species known for their technological prowess, had achieved levels of bioengineering and artificial intelligence far beyond anything Earth could imagine. They could manipulate their surroundings with ease, creating tools, ships, and entire ecosystems at a whim. For the Trauri, humanity was amusing at best, like a child playing with tools it didn't understand. The Shinari, another key species, were even more condescending. As an aristocratic and highly advanced race, they prided themselves on their mastery of galactic diplomacy and history. With their long lifespans and deeply ingrained hierarchies, they saw Earth's rapid rise to space travel as nothing more than a lucky accident. To them, humanity's history of conflict and infighting made them unworthy of sitting at the same table as the galaxy's elite. The Shinari often mocked Earth's representatives, pointing out the chaos of their young civilization compared to their own ancient, orderly existence. These sentiments were shared by other races in the Union, from the powerful Rakan, who had mastered the manipulation of energy fields, to the graceful Ananthi, a species with telepathic abilities. The general consensus was the same: humanity didn't belong here. Earth was seen as a backwater planet, still stuck in the early stages of development compared to the rest of the galaxy. While other species had learned to navigate the intricacies of galactic politics and advanced technologies, humans were viewed as stumbling in the dark, relying on brute force and luck. The aliens would share stories of their own advancements, some of which predated the earliest human civilizations by thousands of years, making Earth seem like an infant in comparison. Alien leaders made their disdain clear during every meeting and negotiation. They would listen to Earth's proposals with thinly veiled amusement, watching as humanity tried to understand concepts they had mastered long ago. Earth's representatives often found themselves ignored or humored, like children pretending to be adults. The mocking laughter of these older, more experienced civilizations was a constant reminder of humanity's place in the pecking order. Earth was seen as nothing more than a novelty, a planet with eager but naive inhabitants who had only just begun to scratch the surface of interstellar knowledge. The Union didn't take humans seriously, and that suited them just fine. After all, they didn't need to worry about a species so far beneath them. But humanity, despite the mockery, remained undeterred. They had worked too hard to reach this point, and they weren't about to let the condescension of other species slow them down. Earth's governments pushed forward with their plans for exploration and colonization, determined to carve out a place for humanity in the galaxy. They weren't naive about the challenges they faced, but they believed in their potential to grow. With newfound access to advanced alien technology, humans began colonizing uninhabited planets on the edges of known space. These worlds were often overlooked by the older, more powerful civilizations, considered too far from key trade routes or too barren for immediate interest. The first human colonies were modest, but they represented something more significant: a foothold. Each new planet provided resources that could fuel further expansion, and with every new outpost, humanity's understanding of the galaxy deepened. These colonies became the testing grounds for human adaptability as Earth settlers learned to survive and thrive on worlds with harsh environments and alien ecosystems. It was during one of these early colonization missions that humanity stumbled upon something unexpected. A small team of explorers, tasked with surveying a distant, barely habitable planet, came across ruins unlike anything they had ever seen. The architecture was ancient, far older than any known alien civilization. Carvings and symbols etched into the stone walls depicted images and scripts that no one recognized. The structures were massive and clearly designed by an intelligent race, but there were no signs of who they were or where they had gone. The human team, stunned by the discovery, quickly realized that these ruins were far more than just old structures. Within the crumbling walls, they found fragments of advanced technology, devices that seemed impossibly complex and powerful. Unlike the technology of Earth or even the Union's most advanced civilizations, these relics appeared to defy the known laws of science. The explorers sent back data and samples to Earth, their excitement tempered by the mystery of what they had found. who had built these ruins and how had such advanced technology ended up on a remote planet. Back on Earth, the discovery sparked interest among scientists and government officials. The ruins presented a puzzle that could redefine humanity's understanding of the galaxy. But when the data was shared with alien scholars in the Union, the reaction was dismissive. The Trari and Shinari laughed off the idea that the ruins could be significant. They claimed the relics belonged to some long-dead, insignificant species that had vanished eons ago. To them, there was nothing special about the discovery, just another piece of galactic history that had no relevance to the present. But Earth's leading scientists weren't so sure. Something about the technology didn't add up. It was far too advanced for such a distant, barren planet. The more they studied the relics, the more they became convinced that this wasn't just some forgotten race. They were looking at something older, something far more important. The symbols and designs embedded in the ruins seemed strangely familiar, as if they were a part of something deeply ingrained in humanity's collective subconscious. The technology, while ancient, hinted at a level of understanding that surpassed anything Earth or the Union had ever encountered. The discovery of the ancient ruins sent shockwaves through Earth's scientific community. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, a team of Earth's top archaeologists, engineers, and xenobiologists was assembled to investigate the site in more detail. These were some of humanity's brightest minds, and they arrived at the ruins with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As they began their work, the complexity of the relics they uncovered defied explanation. Devices that seemed like simple stones at first glance revealed power sources that appeared to defy the known laws of physics. Energy coursed through them in ways no human technology could replicate. This wasn't just ancient, this was something beyond modern science. The deeper the team delved into the ruins, the more strange and wondrous technologies they uncovered. There were devices that could manipulate energy fields and others that seemed capable of projecting matter across distances without any observable energy consumption. The scientists couldn't believe what they were seeing. This technology was light years ahead of anything humanity or even the Galactic Union had developed. It was as if these relics belonged to an era so advanced it was incomprehensible to their modern understanding. Initial decoding efforts revealed symbols and scripts carved into the walls and devices. These languages were alien, yet something about them felt oddly familiar. As the scientists worked through translations and compared them to known languages, they began to see fragments that bore a resemblance to ancient human languages. The team was astonished. The relics didn't just feel advanced, they felt like they had a connection to Earth's distant past. It was as though humanity's own history held traces of this forgotten civilization, embedded in the DNA of their cultural memory. As word of the discovery spread, alien historians, long indifferent to Earth's technological struggles, began to take notice. They were initially dismissive, assuming that the human excitement over the relics was just another example of their naivety. But as more data came in from the ruins, a shift occurred. Alien scholars and historians started taking a closer look. They pulled up their own ancient texts, some of which contained obscure references to an unknown, powerful race that had vanished from the galaxy eons ago. The more they dug into their records, the more alarming the realization became. These ruins, these relics, matched descriptions of the technology belonging to the Elder Race. The Elder Race was a long-whispered legend, a civilization that had existed in the far reaches of galactic history, so advanced that no one truly understood the full extent of their power. The race was said to have disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only fragmented myths and abandoned worlds. Alien historians had believed these stories were just that, stories. But now, as they compared the human findings with their own records, it became undeniable. Panic began to spread among the alien elite. The humans, once ridiculed as primitive and unworthy, were somehow connected to this ancient, powerful race. The very idea that humans could be descendants of the Elder Race sent shockwaves through the Galactic Union. If true, this revelation could upset the delicate balance of power that had existed for millennia. Suddenly, humanity was no longer a joke, they were potentially heirs to a legacy of unimaginable power. The alien rulers who had once laughed at Earth's ignorance now faced an existential fear. If humanity could unlock the full potential of the Elder Race's technology, it would mean the rise of a power unlike anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. The relics weren't just interesting pieces of archaeology, they were the key to a forgotten empire that once spanned the stars. Aliens who had seen themselves as superior now saw humans as a possible threat, and their previous mockery turned to apprehension. The implications were staggering. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations, long confident in their superiority, were suddenly confronted with the possibility that humans might not be as primitive as they once thought. Meanwhile, on Earth, the scientific team continued to make progress. With each passing day, more of the relic's secrets were unlocked. One of the most significant breakthroughs came when the team activated a device that had been lying dormant in the ruins. When powered up, it projected a detailed star map of the galaxy. But it wasn't just any star map, it was ancient, showing planets and systems that had been lost or forgotten over time. Some of these locations were marked with symbols that, when deciphered, revealed hidden locations of other Elder Race outposts and knowledge hubs. The map alone was a revelation, but it was only the beginning. Another device they uncovered provided more direct clues about the technological prowess of the Elder Race. This relic, when activated, displayed blueprints for technologies far beyond human or even Galactic Union understanding. These included advancements in teleportation, energy manipulation, and space travel that could revolutionize everything humans knew about science. Even weapons of immense power were hidden within these blueprints, technology that, if fully realized, could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. The human scientists were both amazed and overwhelmed by the discovery. The devices they had found weren't just artifacts of a lost civilization, they were the keys to unlocking unimaginable advancements. Yet, despite their excitement, there was still a lingering question: why did these relics feel so familiar? What was the true connection between the Elder Race and humanity? As they continued their research, they found the answer in one of the deeper layers of the ruins. Scientists discovered genetic data embedded within one of the relics. When analyzed, this data revealed DNA markers and genetic codes that were shockingly similar to the human genome. The connection was undeniable. Humanity was not a new species on the galactic stage, they were, in fact, the descendants of the Elder Race. Their ancestors had once ruled the stars, wielding power that no other species could match. Over time, the knowledge of this legacy had been lost, but now, through these relics, humanity was beginning to rediscover its forgotten past. The implications of this discovery shook the scientific community to its core. Humans were not newcomers to the galaxy, they were its forgotten rulers, the last remnants of an ancient empire that had dominated the stars before vanishing into the shadows of history. This revelation was not just a scientific breakthrough, it was a reawakening. Humanity was about to reclaim its place among the stars, not as the naive newcomers the aliens had mocked, but as the descendants of the most powerful civilization the galaxy had ever known. The revelation that humans were the descendants of the long-forgotten Elder Race sent shockwaves through the Galactic Union. What had once been a source of mockery, the human race and their primitive technology, now became a subject of fear and distrust. For millennia, the Union's advanced civilizations had viewed themselves as the galaxy's pinnacle, controlling its resources, shaping its future. But now humanity, once regarded as a backward species, held the key to the most advanced technologies and knowledge the galaxy had ever known. The implications were terrifying for those in power. Alien governments quickly began to realize the potential threat. If humans managed to fully unlock the knowledge and power of their ancestors, they could surpass even the most advanced species in the Union.
This wasn't just about a shift in power, it was about the potential collapse of the existing galactic order. The Shinari, who had long prided themselves on their intellectual and technological superiority, were particularly alarmed. Their dominance in the Galactic Union had gone unchallenged for centuries, and now humanity's rediscovered heritage threatened to topple their reign.
The Shinari led a movement within the Union to isolate humanity, calling for immediate action to block human access to further galactic resources. They proposed sanctions, restrictions, and even the possibility of banning Earth from the Union altogether. To the Shinari and their allies, allowing humans to continue their research into the Elder Race relics would only spell disaster. The Chwari, known for their technological dominance, were also vocal in their support of limiting human progress. They feared that humans, with access to their ancestral knowledge, would develop technologies that could make the Chwari's advancements seem obsolete. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. Some races began to look at humans with a mixture of dread and suspicion. The prospect of a primitive species suddenly becoming the most powerful force in the galaxy created panic. Alien leaders whispered in dark corners about the potential for humans to not only rival the Union's most advanced civilizations but to dominate them entirely. The situation became so tense that some races began to question the wisdom of ever allowing Earth into the Union in the first place. Back on Earth, the revelation of humanity's connection to the Elder Race was met with mixed emotions. The news spread quickly, reaching every corner of society. For some, this discovery ignited a sense of pride. Humans were no longer just one of the youngest species in the galaxy, they were the heirs to a powerful ancient civilization that had once ruled the stars. This newfound identity was a source of inspiration for those who believed humanity had been underestimated by the galactic elite. However, Not everyone shared this sense of pride. Many humans were deeply concerned by the implications of this revelation. Being descendants of the elder race came with immense responsibility, and the potential for conflict with the rest of the galaxy weighed heavily on their minds. The relics held power beyond comprehension, and unlocking them meant exposing humanity to risks they were not prepared to face. Some feared that by tapping into their ancient legacy, humans would provoke the very civilizations they were now a part of, potentially sparking galactic warfare. Earth's government struggled to navigate this complex situation. Political leaders found themselves debating how best to move forward. On one side, there were those who believed humanity should aggressively pursue the knowledge of the elder race. They argued that this was an opportunity to rise to the top of the galactic hierarchy and ensure humanity's survival in an increasingly hostile universe. On the other side were the more cautious voices warning that pushing too far, too fast, could result in alien retaliation and isolation. Public discussions and debates became widespread. News channels, forums, and town halls were filled with people discussing the pros and cons of embracing their ancient legacy. Philosophers and ethicists weighed in, questioning the morality of using the elder race's power. Some even argued that perhaps humanity had been better off without this knowledge, that rediscovering their past could unleash forces they weren't ready to control. Across Earth, there was a growing divide between those eager to claim their place among the stars and those wary of the dangers that came with such power. As tensions simmered on Earth, the Galactic Union was experiencing its own internal conflict. The rising fear of human potential led to covert efforts by some alien factions to sabotage humanity's progress. The Shinari and Trari, in particular, launched a series of covert operations aimed at destroying key human research sites. They believed that by crippling humanity's ability to unlock the relics, they could delay or even prevent humans from realizing their full potential as descendants of the elder race. These covert operations were partially successful. Several key research sites on distant human colonies were destroyed in a series of carefully orchestrated attacks. Data was lost, scientists were killed, and critical relics were damaged beyond repair. The sabotage, however, did not go unnoticed. Human intelligence agencies quickly identified alien operatives involved in the attacks, and tensions between Earth and the Union escalated. What had once been diplomatic disagreements were now turning into violent confrontations. Small skirmishes broke out between human forces and alien operatives, leading to an atmosphere of suspicion and paranoia. Humans began to view the Galactic Union with increasing distrust, while alien factions saw humanity as an imminent threat that needed to be contained. The fragile peace that had existed between Earth and the Union was beginning to fracture, and the possibility of full-scale conflict loomed large. But not all alien races were against humanity's rise. Some species within the Union, seeing potential in Earth's rediscovered power, began to align themselves with humans. These races believed that Earth's new technologies could be shared, bringing mutual benefits to both humans and their allies. They argued that isolating or attacking humanity would only lead to greater instability across the galaxy. These factions sought to foster cooperation rather than conflict, offering to aid humans in unlocking the relics in exchange for access to the technology. This growing divide within the Galactic Union created political instability across the galaxy. Some races began to question the leadership of the Shinari and Trari, accusing them of stoking unnecessary fear for their own gain. Meanwhile, humanity found itself at the center of an emerging power struggle as different alien factions vied for influence over Earth and its growing technological capabilities. The once mocked species was now a central player in a game of galactic politics, with the future of the Union hanging in the balance. Despite the sabotage attempts, the relentless external pressure, and the ongoing conflict with the Galactic Union, human scientists continued to make progress in unlocking the full potential of the ancient relics. They knew they were on the verge of a breakthrough, and after countless hours of research, decoding, and experimentation, the breakthrough finally came. The key to accessing the deeper knowledge within the relics had been hidden within a series of complex energy signatures that mirrored the relic's own internal structures. Once these signatures were understood, the relics began to reveal their true capabilities. The knowledge stored within the relics was far beyond anything humanity or even the most advanced civilizations in the Union could have imagined. The first discovery was a new form of energy manipulation that allowed humans to harness and control energy at a fundamental level, far surpassing current technologies. This included the ability to generate vast amounts of power from almost any source and convert it into different forms, opening the door to limitless energy applications. The second major breakthrough was the discovery of a method for instantaneous long-distance space travel, effectively allowing humans to move across the galaxy in the blink of an eye. This form of travel, once thought to be impossible, rendered traditional warp drives and hyperdrives obsolete. But the most startling discovery came in the form of advanced weaponry. The relics held blueprints and instructions for weapon systems that could manipulate energy and matter in ways no one had ever thought possible. These weapons were capable of disintegrating entire fleets, bypassing energy shields, and even disrupting the very fabric of space-time. With this technology in their hands, humanity was no longer the underdog of the galaxy. They had the power to rival or surpass the most advanced civilizations in the Union, and with it, the ability to reclaim their ancient legacy. As humanity unlocked the full power of the relics, the Galactic Union was thrown into chaos. The alien factions who had once mocked Earth and dismissed humanity as a primitive race now scrambled to contain the growing threat. Panic spread across the Union as news of humanity's technological advancements reached every corner of the galaxy. Suddenly, the species that had been an afterthought in galactic politics was poised to become the most powerful force in the known universe. The response to humanity's rise was swift and divided. Some factions, seeing the potential for collaboration, quickly moved to establish alliances with Earth. They understood that humanity's newfound power could reshape the galaxy, and they wanted to be on the right side of history. These factions offered trade agreements, technology exchanges, and military alliances, hoping to benefit from humanity's advancements. They recognized that resisting Earth's rise would be futile and instead sought to build a future in which humans and other species could share in the benefits of the relic's technology. But not all alien species were willing to accept humanity's newfound dominance. The Shinari, still bitter about their loss of status and power, led a coalition of species calling for military action. They argued that humanity, with their dangerous new weapons and advanced technology, posed a direct threat to the stability of the Union. The Shinari, who had long dominated the Union's political and technological landscape, saw Earth's rise as a personal affront and a destabilizing force that could upend the entire galactic order. They pushed for immediate military intervention, hoping to crush humanity before they could fully consolidate their power. Skirmishes began to break out in various parts of the galaxy as the Shinari and their allies launched preemptive strikes against human colonies and research outposts. The Union, which had been largely peaceful for centuries, was now teetering on the edge of full-scale conflict. Human forces, armed with their newly unlocked weapons and technology, responded with decisive force, defending their territories and pushing back the Shinari coalition. The battles were swift and brutal, with humanity demonstrating the overwhelming power of the relic's technology. Entire fleets were disintegrated in seconds, leaving the Shinari and their allies reeling. But even as these skirmishes raged on, diplomatic efforts continued. Many alien factions, recognizing the futility of opposing humanity's rise, began to distance themselves from the Shinari and sought peaceful relations with Earth. The Union, once united in its disdain for humanity, was now deeply divided. The prospect of war with Earth was too terrifying for most species to contemplate, and they knew that cooperation was the only way forward. With their new power and the support of several key alien factions, humanity began to assert its rightful place as the elder race of the galaxy. Earth, once a backwater planet dismissed by the galaxy's elite, became a hub of technological innovation and interstellar influence. The relics, now fully understood, provided the foundation for a new era of human advancement. Earth became the center of a new galactic order, with human scientists and engineers leading the charge in developing technologies that far surpassed anything the Union had ever seen. But humanity did not forget the lessons of the past. Rather than using their newfound power to dominate or subjugate the galaxy, they sought to build a future that honored the legacy of their ancestors while embracing cooperation and collaboration with other species. Humans began to share the knowledge they had gained from the relics, offering technological advancements and innovations to their allies. In return, they secured strong alliances, ensuring that their place in the galaxy would be one of leadership rather than conquest. As Earth's influence grew, so did its unity. The once divided nations of Earth came together under a single unified government, dedicated to ensuring that humanity's rise would be one of peace and progress. This newfound unity allowed humans to focus their efforts on exploring the farthest reaches of the galaxy, discovering new worlds, and unlocking even more secrets of their ancient ancestors. The human race, now aware of its true potential and the legacy it carried, stood ready to lead the galaxy into a new era. In the face of galactic uncertainty and the remnants of the Shinari resistance, humanity remained resolute. They had reclaimed their place as the elder race, but they had done so on their own terms through knowledge, cooperation, and an unyielding determination to shape their future. As they looked to the stars, the relics of their ancestors guiding them, the human race stood tall, ready to usher in a new age of power and influence. With their past rediscovered and their future secured, humanity had finally ascended to the heights their ancestors once occupied. The galaxy, once a place of alien dominance, was now a landscape where humans could forge their destiny. They were no longer the outsiders, mocked for their naivety. They were the leaders of a new galactic order, one built on the wisdom of the past and the promise of the future. The relics had unlocked more than just technology, they had unlocked humanity's true potential.